Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat Grappler. Well done.
Here. Yeah, I gotta use props sometimes. Grappler is it's a feat, technically. So the guy got a prerequisite 13 strength or higher. You develop the skills necessary to hold your own in close quarters grappling. You gain the following benefits. You have advantage on attack rolls against creatures you are grappling, which many people are surprised to hear because they just assumed that's how it worked to begin with. But no, there's very, very, very few reasons to want to grapple somebody out the gate. Additionally, it says you can use your action to try and pin a creature grappled by you. To do so, you make another grapple check, and if you succeed, it is both it is you and it. You and the creature are both restrained until the grapple ends.
Yay!
Okay. Do we first want to go through how you grapple and what it does?
Yes, because I'm a little foggy on that.
Okay. So, grappling is a unique kind of melee weapon attack. So whenever you want to grab a creature or wrestle with it, you can use the attack action to make a special melee attack. And it is also clarified that it replaces a single one of your attacks if you can make multiple attacks. But it is important to note the attack has to be made as part of your attack action. So any other attacks, bonus action or otherwise, cannot be replaced with a grapple. It has to be from an attack action. It can be, an action surge action. It can be that's it. That's the extra way you can get an extra grapple this way. In any case,
Right,
or unless
question.
Mhm.
So this counts as an attack?
It is codified as an attack. Yes.
All right. So the first bullet point here, you have action advantage on attack rolls against a creature you're grappling. Does that count as for further grappling?
No.
So
attack roll. This is unnecessarily messy.
Yes, I have a third edition background, and like grappling there, I think it was even worse.
I was gonna say, you should be right at home.
Just all right. In fact, I got a little meme there on my on the website. Like, you look up the grapple rules and you say, "I'm just gonna stab him."
Yeah. So yes, it is. Grappling is a special kind of attack, but doesn't make an attack roll, which means things that grant you advantage on attack rolls do not grant you advantage on the contested athletics check, which is a skill check and an ability check that you make whenever you do this. So you need, if you have advantage on athletics checks through something like Barbarian, which has advantage on their strength ability checks while raging, that gives you advantage on the grapple check. The grapple check being the contested athletics check to grapple a creature. If you advantage on an attack roll, it has no impact to grappling. But there are some things that want to see if you've taken the attack action this turn. This will still qualify as having taken the attack action if you don't physically attack. Which is... So I guess it's not really attacking, but it's messy because sometimes it is. There's weird examples. The internet's full of contradictions. What's important for the scope of this video, though, is that you can spend an action that you have to have taken the attack action to do to grapple something.
Yes.
It can't be larger than you, more than one side larger than you. So if you're medium, you can grapple large. If you're small, you can grapple medium. Nothing bigger. You have to have a free hand, which means you can't be dual wielding or have a shield at the time. And then it can make an athletics or a contested athletics or acrobatics check against you. And whoever imposes the grapple loses ties. So if you are the grappler and you're trying to grapple me and we tie, I win.
Okay.
I think I have that backwards. It's whoever's rolling the dice is the checker. So I have to consult my mind palace for a moment. I have to go through and open the doors of the different niche obscure rulings of this stupid game. I think I said it backwards. I think if you are the one because you win contested against AC. Whenever you attack an AC, you win ties. You hit.
Okay.
So whenever you are grappling something, I believe the grappler wins the tie? Check it on Google. I don't know off the top of my head. It doesn't matter.
They'll correct us in the comments.
Yeah, let me know which it is in the comments. One of the two. It's important because there is a ruling for it. And
yeah,
it might be that like the outcome of a tie is nothing happens. I don't know.
Nothing's happening anyway because you're grappling.
That's a great point. Yeah, and all grappling does, like, we just spent like 3 minutes talking about dumb game mechanics. What happens when you're grappled is your speed 0. That's it. There's no the other things in the grappled condition are how it ends.
But can't you, while you're grappling somebody, can't you drag them?
It says a grappled creature speed becomes 0 and it cannot benefit from any bonuses to other speeds.
The grappled creature.
There is
but
text
not
with
the grappler. Unless you're pinned.
A grappled creature speed becomes 0 and it cannot benefit any bonuses from its speed. That is what happens whenever something is grappled. Whenever you use the grapple action, you also have this text called moving a grappled creature, which should be in the grappled condition, but it isn't.
Well, that's whenever you're not grappled, you're grappling.
They gave us text for spells knocking you out of grapples before they gave us text about how a creature grappling somebody would move them. It's dumb. I hate it. It's not important. When you move a creature, you can drag or carry a grappled creature with you, but your speed is halved.
Yeah.
So you can move. It's never good or effective to, like, almost ever to move a grappled creature. It's so inefficient to do any of these things. Because again, all grappling creature does is make its speed 0. So in the context of the grappler feat, you've advantage on now. If you spend the attack foregone to grapple them, your next attack roll has advantage. So if you have extra attack, hypothetically, you spend at your first attack action grappling them, and then your second one, you get advantage. Woo! But again, there's a bunch of caveats there. So you have to be attacking with a one-handed weapon because you need to still have an open hand to grapple them.
Right.
So you can't be using greatswords or anything like that, which makes barbarians immediately go, "Ooh, I don't think I want this anymore." And you have to, like, also then be foregoing just attacking him twice for potentially double the damage. So we have 2 big red flags. Now, if you succeed on the grapple and they don't break free of your grapple by next turn, hypothetically, you're getting advantage on like 3 attack rolls. Neat. That could be something maybe, but it's not. There's almost no reason to grapple with the attack action. If you can get it as a bonus action with this feat, it's still like, is that even that good? Because you could be just like taking better bonus actions that give you other advantages to your attack rolls.
Where does it say this gives you a grapple as a bonus action?
It doesn't. I'm saying if you have that fight by a different source.
Oh, all right.
This becomes a lot more interesting, but still quite bad. Because grappling just as a ability thing in this game is quite bad.
All right, because here's the thing: we've covered a lot of spells, a lot of feats and stuff, and occasionally in the comments I'll see, well, this is really good if you've got a grappler build.
What grappler build?
That does not phase my opinion at all. I have never once used grappling.
If you're a battle rager, though, you can deal bonus D4 damage to a creature you've grappled at the start of your turn. That's a real feature. That's a subclass feature. That's a grappler build right there, baby.
Oh.
So yeah, the fact that the creature you're grappling just goes, "Oh, great, I'll attack you twice still," and doesn't, like, they're not phased by you grappling them. They're not like put at a substantial advantage. They don't have a harder time hitting you or anything. They just can continue to wail on you as normal. Is, net positive to them normally. The restrained condition, which is the other thing you can get from this, because you're wasting turns, right? You're not actively trying to kill them. You're trying to stop them from moving. The restrained condition says attack rolls against the creature have advantage and their attack rolls have disadvantage, which means if you are mutually restrained, the thing and it, like you're restrained and it's restrained, we're now in a circumstance where you both have advantage and disadvantage of attacking each other, which is net neutral, which means you haven't changed the outcome of being grappled and have spent an additional action doing it.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
What?
All right, grappling. The only thing I can see is going back to my love of shoving things. Is if you grapple someone on the edge of some area of effects duration spell and drag them through it like a spike growth or something, maybe. But then, like the second bullet point here, if you pin them, then you don't even get that.
You're not moving. They're not.
You and the other person are out of the fight.
No, not even. They can still, like, the restraint condition doesn't prevent you from making attack rolls or anything.
That's true,
it just imposes disadvantage on them. But if you're attacking the other restrained creature, it's at parity. So they just hit you.
Well, no, if you're both restrained and this is the only other person, you're the only enemy around, then I guess you give everybody else advantage as well.
Yes. So you have spent an attack and an action after that attack action to functionally knock something prone.
Yeah.
This costs you a feat.
Yeah.
It doesn't even give you a +1 strength.
No, I'm genuinely surprised at that. This felt like one of those that would, and I still wouldn't take it.
Yeah. this was before the advent of those, and that's not
Oh.
true. There are, I think there's a couple of the PHP that do, but those are reserved for really, really bad feats. Like it's like Keen Mind and stuff. Like, those are truly abysmal. I think if again, this is the condition that I think that you can use this effectively. You have a bonus action grapple and you want to play a grappler. I have played with grapplers at the table. And normally what that looks like is they try it once and then go, why'd I stop attacking? And then they never do it again. And it's just like, yep, that's what the grappler build ends up looking like, because a lot of combat is just two teams smushing into each other and whacking each other until one of them dies. And like, if you don't care about their movement, there's no reason to use grappler, and most times you just don't care about their movement. Again, if you can get on top of something flying that is only one size larger than you, you could grapple it to ground it, but then you had to get to it.
Yeah, and I imagine both of you would take the falling damage.
I don't know how that works. I guess I don't know how a DM would probably have some kind of like cushion your fall. It's like
No.
you're going into something squishy and they're not going into something squishy hypothetically because you're going into their body. They're going into the ground. So like your speed is getting reduced as you're going through, like as your force is going through a squishier substance. So hypothetically you should take less damage.
No.
I mean, maybe
No way.
not.
And there's no telling who's landing on top of who if you're free falling.
Also a really good point. Grappler is really bad. I think this is a truly abysmal feat. I think you do it for like the cutesy little, I want to try an off-brand build. I'm tired of hitting through the greatsword. I'm tired of sharpshooter. I'm tired of polearm master. I want to do a different thing. I'll try grappling, and you'll go, I get why I've only ever played those three builds. This one doesn't exist, and that's where you're kind of left. Like grappler needs a lot to bring it online as something that's worth doing. And it just doesn't come close to that with this feat. This feat costs you so many things. It's actively detrimental to you in some cases. Like imagine a situation where you're against more than a creature. You grapple, then restrain one, and now that other creature has advantage on attacks against you. You spend actions to give it advantage on attacks against you.
That's not ideal.
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there will be like niche situations where you would want to grapple somebody, but there'd be so few and far between. I can't imagine building around that.
That's why the people like the concept of the build, because it's like, oh, this is a different direction to approach combat. That is something that will come up occasionally, right? It's you're fighting some ruffians that are trying to escape from you. You do grapple them to prevent them from moving. That isn't something you're doing to get an advantage on attack rolls against the thing, though. Right? That isn't something that there's a build direction to go towards. It's not something you can say every single rest. After this, I'm going to be ready to grapple some more stuff. No, most of the time you're going to go kill some skeletons and zombies. You don't want to grapple a zombie. That's just bad for your health.
Yeah. And probably your clothes.
Yeah. You're going to have a real foul stink on you after that. Imagine like you're a grappler build and you go into like fighting salamanders, big flaming bodied creatures. Like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a fire elemental, huh? That's not good for me.
Let's go give him a hug.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do, I guess. let me restrain myself real quick.
Grappler.
I'm gonna give it a 1. I don't think anyone should put this on the character sheet. It's just, even on the builds where it's supposed to be good, I think you should just, you don't need this. This isn't enhancing your character in a particularly powerful way. This is even like the bonus action, now you have advantage on your attack rolls because you're hamstrung to having to have an open hand. I don't want it. If you could like use your feet instead, or have like you can grapple people with like your elbows and still use your 2 hands or something, like this needs so much more.
I'd love to see that.
It needs so much more than what it currently is offering.
Yeah, I wanted. Yeah, a lot of times I know we're gonna get in the comments. Yeah, I know they're Grappler fans, so I can't believe you two guys talking shit about grappling so much. Like, but
that's I think a great impression of every commenter we've ever had.
So a lot of times when I'm thinking ahead like that, I think, all right, I'm gonna give this a 2, just, and I have faith somebody's gonna make a comment that's gonna justify that too. I don't have that faith of this.
Nope, this one's real bad.
giving this a 1. Prove us wrong. Yeah, let us know why this is great. Yeah, or
We're just talking about how bad it is.
yeah.
Tell us you took it and you used it twice, and you're like, I can't believe I spent a feat on this for my variant human. Actually, you're playing variant human, so you're probably okay. Like, if there's like a class of feats that I think are really great on variant human because they're basically racial traits. If that, and this is definitely that level of territory, right? We're definitely looking at niche features that you would want to have to be like, this defines like an alligator kind of creature, or this defines like an ape that's really good at grappling with all its different limbs and stuff. I could see these words being on some kind of species like that. Which is where on variant human, I'm like, yeah, sure, that's not going to break the game in half. But then you could have like, or you could just take crossbow expert, or you could just take
right. I mean,
master, or you could just take
still,
sentinel.
You're just talking about flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's wasting the extra feet from having a variant human. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. The variant human is busted.
Yeah, what's the point of playing a variant human if you're gonna blow that on Grappler?
What's the point of playing a human in a game full of halflings and gnomes and tieflings and dragons? And
I like playing human.
I know you do.
This is, I mean, that brings me closer to the fantasy. All right, we'll
have the human video someday.
Yeah.
When are we gonna start talking about species mod? Let's do that.
We've got some short reviews on the website, so we could. Yeah, someday. I'm not ready for it yet.
Okay. Commoners, one day you'll get it.
I fear change. Okay, but one day we will run out of spells and feats, so it's happening.
It's happening faster than I thought.
Yeah. We're in the last column of 3 for invocations, so Warlock Wednesday will come to an end sooner or later.
We got all the Warlock subclasses to do still. What are you talking about?
But, yeah, all right, fair enough.
And then we have the pack boons. And then we can talk about builds.
All right,
this is so much time for Warlock Wednesday. Sorry, Grappler is bad. Don't take it.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.